What do you think is one of the biggest things that separates like lower rank players from diamonds?
I think it's like problem solving, like what's the best thing to do in each option
Hmm.
or each situation, I should say. My bad. But basically, like if you're gonna punish with a combo starter, or like if they're in red, like okay, what's like the most optimal way to kill with this
Hmm.
punish, and just kind of it's a lot of problem solving. Like okay, what's like the answer to this situation? Just like in chess, it's like strategy, but you kind of get that strategy from playing a lot, and then you kind of
Yeah.
remember what the right answers are. So like, sure, you can learn the basics of the game, but it's going to take a lot of playing to remember and build up muscle memory to answer the problem. It's a lot of fast-paced problem solving. So just getting good at that specific, yeah.
Gotcha. Once a player kind of crosses that threshold and they make it to diamond, what do you think is the main thing that they need from that point to then start improving? Is it more of the same, or is it like something else that you see with a lot of these low diamonds that are looking to kind of maybe get to Valhalla in one day and like keep climbing the ranks?
I think the fast-paced problem solving never goes away, but I think movement becomes more of a play once you get to the plat/diamond territory
Hmm.
because it really controls what options you have. It's like, okay, how many solutions do I have to this problem? Well, in this position, I have two. In this position, I got five. So I
Mm.
want to be in this position. So just getting really good at your movement and more specific, like positioning depending on weapons is really important. Like I play Lance only because Lance is a very horizontal range in terms of positioning. So a lot of my movement habits put me in that position where I'm horizontally away from my opponent. Like I
Hmm.
dodge horizontally in neutral quite often. Where on Katars, Gauntlets, I guess Scythe, you want to go up. So you can be hitting dares a bit more. It's a lot of empty hopping. Just watching how Sandstorm plays. He doesn't sit on the ground. I like sitting on the ground sometimes. And then Katars and Gauntlets will like be really stacked. They want to like run at you, get to like that stacked area where then they can like start hitting true combos and like can just like attack unreactably sometimes, like
Hmm.
Katar in the air and whatnot. So yeah, it just really depends, and that's like where movement combining with like positioning for the weapons is like that's what like takes you to that next level. Then there's like tempo, obviously, and same thing with the fast-paced problem solving. You put them all together, and you got pro gameplay.
Gotcha. If you had to choose like a small handful of things that you would consider to be like the fundamentals of Brawlhalla, like let's say I give you 3 to 4 options of things, what would you call like these are the core things that you should know as
hmm
you're learning the game and improving and getting better?
You said 3 to 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I got three. It's a three-step plan. This is how you win a Brawlhalla every single match.
Okay.
Number one, you get your opponent to miss in some way, shape, or form. It's like it's unreliable to try and hit them first. You can hit them first, and there are situations where you should hit them first, but 99% of the time, like you want your opponent to miss, so you get them to miss via pressure, approaching, whatever. Um, so first, get them to miss. Second, can you punish? Or that like decision making is key, and that's part of the problem solving. Is like, what do I want to
Mm.
punish with? Can I even go for this? Am I in the right position? The step one, getting them to miss, is where like the positioning and movement comes into play. And then once you make that right decision of like can or can't punish, let's say you can punish, it's step three, it's combo question mark. So do you have a true combo? And then you kind of keep asking yourself when you do have that advantage state and you win an interaction, can I keep comboing? Can I keep extending? And if that answer is no, then it goes back to step one and it repeats. And that's the cycle of Brawlhalla.
Interesting. Okay. That's actually a pretty succinct kind of explanation of the Brawlhalla gameplay loop.
Mhm.
Um,
It's also most fighting games, but it depends. Like other fighting games, traditional, I'm not so familiar with like the counters and whatnot. Brawlhalla doesn't have a counter system. Smash, it's similar, but there are like different solutions to that of like the punishing and whatnot. It's weird.
yeah, I think Smash or any platform fighter that has like a shield and a grab
hmm
has sort of like variations on that, where like there is a bit of a sort of rock paper scissors aspect to the gameplay, where like shield beats attack, but throw beats shield, and those types of things. Um,
True.
and then like with traditional fighters, there's a lot more things you have to be like cognizant of as far as like block strings and making sure you're waiting for your turn, quote unquote, where
Yeah.
your opponent has used some kind of unsafe option that you can actually do something about. And otherwise, you're just defending as effectively as possible. And then when it is your turn and you can get an attack, you make sure you optimize and maximize the amount of damage you can get each time you can actually get in.
So I guess it's kind of the same 3 questions, but that decision making on each question of like, first, get them to miss. Second, can you punish? So it's like in these traditionals, you're stuck in disadvantage state, and that like you gotta really wait for them to miss to like for it to be your turn. Or like in Smash with like blocking or shields or whatever, you get them to miss by shielding, and then can you punish? Yes, with a grab. So it's like it's the same, but it's also just the answers are very different.
Right. Yeah, it is pretty similar.